155. First shot was a 0.9. Best split was a 12. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's going on, guys? Roger here, QVO Tactical. I get a lot of questions from you guys in the comment section from our videos on, hey, how do you shoot your bill drill so fast? So I figured today we'd come out to the desert. It is 110 degrees out here in the summer Vegas desert, guys. We're still out here doing it. But Nick and I came out here and I figured we'd break down all the tips and the tricks that I've learned over the last, 20 years of shooting on how I'm able to shoot those 6 rounds so fast. Nick, he doesn't shoot as often as we do, and he's typically around like a sub-3 bill drill. So today we're gonna shoot some bill drills right now, and then we're gonna try some of those drills and the tricks that I've learned over the last few years, implement those on the range for you guys to see, and then see if we can get him sub 2 second today. So I'm gonna run my first drill right now and see how I do. The goal today is all alphas, under 2 obviously. But let's see how we do. We're already 7 yards out, shooting some SuperVel 115. A little more about SuperVel here in a second. But let's go. Stand by. Man, this XC is just like a sewing machine. So I shot kind of low. I got a 191. Best split is a 13. We're gonna go look at the hits. First shot was a 116, but unfortunately, I was holding here and dropped them all. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 Charlie, 2 Alpha. Imagine if I just brought my aim up, we would have been clean. But a 191 with 4 Charlie, not ideal. I'm happy with the time. Obviously not happy with the accuracy as far as competition goes. Defensively, I'd be happy with that all day long. I'm gonna have Nick run his first bill drill, and then we'll get into some of those tips and tricks that I use. All right, Nick, go ahead and load and make ready. He's gonna be running the Staccato XL. Here we go, stand by. Got a 246, best split was a 21. First shot was a 129. Let's go take a look at your hits. So a little cleaner than mine. I got a Charlie and a Delta though. Yeah. So we definitely want to get rid of these today. These are all good. So do you know what your first shot was?
Yes, this one right here.
Gotcha,
and then I just kind of tracked it over.
Cool, so today we want to shave a half a second off of your time with all alphas today, which I think is gonna be doable. All right, guys, so the first tip I want to share with you guys is something I learned back in like 2015, 2016 from JJ Racaza when he was actually living out here in Vegas. He had me record my draw in slow motion footage just on my iPhone, and then he analyzed it for me, and one thing he noticed was that on the buzzer, I wasn't getting into the gun until like the end of that buzzer ringing off. And so what he had me do, just go home, unload your gun, get a nice clear gun, and set up, for dry fire, and it was just simply running the timer and practicing getting to my gun before that timer was done buzzing. And so that's just building up that muscle memory for you to react, to a stimulus, whether it be an up command, a shot timer is ideal, but you record yourself and just use your iPhone, guys, in slow motion, and you're gonna really see like how your time is when you get to that gun and notice like it's toward the end of that beep. And it's really eye-opening. So for me, half the bill drill time is that draw speed. If you can be in the 0.7s and the 0.8s with getting your gun up and on target, you're gonna make that speed come down even lower. I wanna say my fastest clean bill drills in the 1.5s, 1.6s, and that's definitely because I was able to get my gun up and presented in 0.8 seconds. So try that at home, guys. Again, I'll just do 100 reps of boom, just that. Hit the timer again, and just do it on a weekend or a Friday night when you're sitting at home watching TV, or like for me when I play Call of Duty between matches when I'm waiting for the lobby to load up. And I'll just do that, guys. Boom, just several times of the buzzer going off and get into the gun as fast as I can. So that's the first tip. So Nick and I are gonna now run another bill drill after implementing that. Him and I are both gonna do this about 5 to 10 times. I just did my 5. I'll have him do it, and then we'll see what our bill drill times are looking like from there. All right, Nick, so on the buzzer, you're just going for that nice purchase, that nice grip, all right? Yeah. Here we go, stand by. Yep, so clean it up a little bit. Here we go. Nice. There you go. All right, Nick, load and make ready. Second bill drill, here we go. Stand by. .212, so we shaved off, what, 0.34 of a second. First shot was a 107, so faster on the draw right there. Best split was a 19, but now we got to work on accuracy.
Yep.
So I'm assuming you didn't mean to do that one?
No.
Still, good shot though. You got 3 Charlie, 1 Alpha, and one over the head mic. So cool. So you took a minute to just think, okay, only I want to focus on is that draw speed now, which is great. You got very close to a 1 second draw, but now we need to incorporate, okay, the 1 second draw into a correct presentation on target. All right, guys, now for my second run, I believe I need to beat a 191, trying to improve with each round. We are 7 yards out, guys. Beforehand, we measured with some measuring tape and set a black rock out here. You should be seeing that B-roll right now. But yeah, we are exactly 21 feet, 7 yards away for the bill drill. Here we go, second run. I keep getting trigger freeze on like the 4th or 5th shot. So I got 239. So I added half a second to my time. My first shot was a 124. The best split was a 14. And there's that half a second. So I had a 0.49. So it took me half a second on that trigger freeze. And then I ended up jerking it when I finally shot it. So I believe that was that shot. But we got 5 Alpha, 1 Charlie at a 239. So still got room for improvement, a lot of room. Now guys, the next thing I do is getting my point of reference, my aiming. So a lot of people are like, hey, are you just point shooting? Are you just shooting? No. The second I have that red dot come up and it's on target in that alpha zone, that's when I start putting, you know, pressure on that trigger and letting the rounds go. And how I did that, back in like 2014 is when I decided to make the switch to red dot, and I was going to a class. So a big fan of Bruce Lee, he said 2,000 reps make something a habit, right? So I just sat at home like I did with the draw, and I would come up and find out where my reference point was. And so at first when I was shooting with Glock, I would notice that it would be kind of high, so I'd have to adjust. And so all I just did so many reps until it got to the point that when I drew, my natural presentation, my natural point of aim was putting the dot just at the center chest of my target. And that allows me, boom, right there every single time to get my gun on target, have that dot exactly where I want it, so I can start pressing off those 6 rounds. I like the term muscle memory. I know, you know, it's outdated now and some guys don't like it, but for me, it's just getting those repetitions, and it's getting, you know, me to where every time I draw and present, the dot is right on the target. I'm going to bring in some, you know, behind the optic footage for you guys using my iPhone, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. But essentially, a lot of this is at home dry fire. And again, pick a small reference point, go home and like use your light switch on the wall, and just get in the habit of presenting and having that dot line up right on it. So when I first do it, I'll start out super slow. Like right now I'm presenting on the A in the alpha zone, and then I just gradually speed it up and to where it gets to, it's right there every time. So hopefully that'll help you guys out with getting that first shot very accurate and quick. But all right, here we go, third run. Stand by. A little bit of trigger freeze, but I got 207. First shot was a 115, best split was a 15, but now we're doing much better. So clean run. So it's the first clean run of the day at 207. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So third run, got my clean run, but now I want to get it below 2 seconds. And this right here tells me I could have definitely run that a little faster. All right, Nick, stand by. Third run. 234, best split was a 19, first shot was a 124. Nice, you got 5 Alpha, 1 Charlie. So much cleaner group. How'd the presentation feel?
That was much better. Yeah, just getting that additional practice in, just finding the dot, and just the overall presentation just right in the center of the target. Definitely helped out clean that up.
Cool. So right now your best split's a 19. With that gun, Marco could probably get that gun down to 11, I bet. But we need to definitely bring you down from 19. So with 6 shots, you had a 19 was your fastest, 22. So let's go 20 is the average. If you could cut, you know, 0.05 off of 6 shots, that's 0.3 of a second. You know what I mean? That brings you right to 2.
Cool.
Now for the next tip or the next drill that I use to make the bill drills faster for me is honestly guys, just getting a really good understanding of my trigger. So you don't have to be on the range for this, just go home, get your gun, and for you musicians out there, especially you drummers, this will make a lot of sense to you, but I break down the function of my trigger into a cadence. And what I mean by that, I'll do my best here with the wind to pick up this noise for you, but I fill the prep, hit the wall, have the trigger break, and then I cycle the slide. Reset, prep, break, slide. And literally, I just break that down into a beat so many times to where I get so familiar to exactly where the wall is, how much prep there is, where the wall is, and how that break is going to be. And then, you know, doing the in-flight reset, which is resetting the trigger while the slide is cycling. I'm able to come right out, boom, prep up, and I'm on that wall ready to break again when the gun is back in battery. And I know the guys out there that are 1911, 2011 guys seeing me do this, it is what it is, guys. If your gun can't take this, you know, I don't think it should be as expensive as it is. This is my Staccato XC. I beat the hell out of this thing and it runs great for me. So, but that's how I break down the trigger for me, and it's what's worked for me over the years with getting really familiar with the trigger. That way I know exactly how much to prep, where the wall is gonna break, and then how much I need to come back out to get the trigger back into position while the slide is cycling. All right guys, fourth run now. Trigger finger's definitely warm. I'm hoping we get our sub 2 clean here. Here we go, stand by. The second round, I dipped it all the way down. I got a 189, splits best one was a 15, I got two 15s. First shot was a 112, but I'm pretty sure I went 1, 2, 3, and I felt that my grip wasn't completely up, so I could see a little bit of, you know, the muzzle coming slamming down. But 5 Alpha, 1 Charlie, and a 189. That's definitely getting closer to where I want to be. Now the next tip, guys, is just reps. I'll get a C-zone steel target. That way I'm not having to go up and tape, and I can just practice building all of those things, putting it all together, and building up that speed. And this, I'll just push to failure, meaning I'm more focused right now on how fast I can run the gun. So here we go. And that's a 166, best split was a 13, first shot was a 9.5, and here's the grouping. So this would have probably been 4 Alpha, 1 Charlie, 1 Delta, or another Charlie, but a 166, best split was a 13. And honestly guys, I'll just run this drill, you know, pretty much until exhaustion. Like, I want to get to failure points, and that's how you're just building up, you know, more and more speed with your draw, with your trigger press. And that way when you have to go out and give it a little more time for that accuracy portion, finding that balance of speed and accuracy, because your draw was so fast and you can run the trigger so fast, it affords you that time to get that dot exactly where you need it. Woo! That's a 151 again. Got a 0.86 for the draw and a 12 on the splits. So now guys, I'm going to put all of that together back on paper here, and we're shooting for sub 2 second, all clean alphas, 7 yards out. And what I'm gonna do right now, I am literally just shooting as fast as I accurately can. So here we go. That's a 181. First shot was a 107, best split was a 13. Marco's got to come be the judge on these line breakers.
See that? Perf. Ah, counts. Perf broke. There.
So I got a perforation break here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So after putting all those together, this is what, my 5th run?
5, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so on my 5th run, got it clean at a 181, sub 2 second. I do want to do another one because even though it broke the perf, I would like to see them all within the lines. I already saw him dip low. 176, first shot was a 9.8, so 1/10 of a second slower, and best was a 14. But again, I'm all amped up. I was looking here the whole time. I need to be looking up here. .155, first shot was a 0.9, best split was a 12, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I moved my eyes up, not where I wanted. I wanted to move my eyes here so my shots would have been here, but I end up looking right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a 1.55 clean. So I want to say this is probably my fastest bilge drill clean ever.
Oh, nice.
So 1.55, it is with my Staccato XC build, guys. I got a metal Chile grip on there. We'll do a full breakdown at the end of the video for you guys on the setups we're using. But first shot was a 0.90 and best split was a 0.12, which I have 2 of those for a total time of 1.55, 6 alpha clean. Now that I got my super clean run in the 1.55, we are now on Nick's quest for sub 2 second clean. So we do our best to get as close as we can. Okay. I know this is, Nick's only worked on bilge drills with me one other time, which was one of the last videos we shot, the T-Sauce video. We were able to get his bilge drill down quicker, but getting 6 alpha, you know, under 2 seconds on your second time trying bilge drills. Is it impossible? No, but we'll see.
We'll see.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and load, make ready. All right, here we go, stand by. .220, best split was a 2.2, first shot was a 114, and we're looking low again.
Yep.
All right, let's go again. So Marco had another good tip for us. Right now, Nick is having issues with his aiming reference point on the draw. So Marco actually comes and makes a reference point. He'll put, you know, a white piece of tape or a black Sharpie mark. That way you bring your eyes to this reference point. Since we all naturally shoot low, it's gonna give you more of that alpha to hit because you're looking here, your reference point is here. So anything low is gonna end up being in that alpha zone. So this is something you use on your drill days.
Pretty much, yeah.
.248, best split 2.5 for shot 118. Almost all alpha. You got 1 Charlie, that's all. Now I also know I'm gonna get some comments down below like, hey, how about running it with like a stock Glock setup? So brought my Gen 5 34 out to the range, guys, and let's see how we do. Stock trigger, stock setup, no porting, no nothing. And this is my first run on some new cardboard. Let's see how we do. So I got a 193, and first shot was 109, best split was a 16. I did throw 1 Charlie here. So sub 2, 1 Charlie. I'm gonna run a couple more times, see if we can get it clean. .185, best split was a 15. Got 2 Charlie though. And I'm watching, I could see it dancing around, so you know, not having, like, it's 9mm, I know, guys, but still, when you guys shoot like this versus like a Staccato XC with, you know, just that hair trigger on the 2011 platform plus the big old compensator port at the end, you just notice a huge difference in recoil. But think of this for me defensively, I'm happy with this all day long. So I'm gonna get it clean though before we leave this range with the stock setup, but these are the type of results that I would be getting. You know, I got a 185 with the majority of these being good shots, 2 Charlie. Got a 182, first shot was a 9.6, best split was a 16, and there we go. So guys, this is my 7th run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 alpha, bilge drill clean at a 182. Let me know when you got it. And first shot was a 9.6. So with a stock Gen 5 Glock 34, 7 runs it took me to get a clean bilge drill. Yeah, 182. So here's a cool thing that I want you guys to, you know, you're probably gonna argue about down below in the comment section, but a 182 clean versus my 155 clean. So we're talking what? Less than 0.3 of a second difference to go from like a $700 gun to a $4,000 gun. You know, don't get me wrong, I prefer the 1911, 2011 grip angle. The platform altogether is just something that I prefer over, you know, a striker fire. The grip angle here, one cool thing I've learned on the internet with Glocks, I've learned if I point with my thumb, the reference point comes up dot exactly where I want. With my 1911s or 2011s, if I point with my index finger, the dot goes where I want. So something to, you know, try out for yourself there if you go back and forth like me between the two different guns. But for those wondering, stock Glock 34, 6 alpha clean in a 182. Now for those wondering, like, hey, what are your times like with a duty style retention holster? Well, I brought my SuperVel ALS out, so let's see how we do. Here we go. Got a 194. First shot was a 118. Best split was a 13. So sub 2, but I do have 3 Charlie, 3 Alpha. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 Alpha, 2 Charlie. So I just need to bring that up, get my point of reference up higher, and I should be able to get sub 2 from the duty holster. .186. First shot was a 112. Best split was a .13, and we are clean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 alpha, 7 yards from a Safariland ALS retention holster. But guys, it's still cheat codes because I'm running a Staccato XC. But for those wondering, I mean, we were doing like .9s on the draw time from before with that, with our QVO Tactical secondary on the waistband holster, which has no active retention. So we went from, you know, a .9, .95 to a 1.12, so 0.2 of a second difference. You know, with enough reps, I haven't used this holster since I did the video on it, so I probably have, what, I'm on my 8th rep here. I think this took me 8 times to get a clean sub 2 second build drill with this holster, plus when we did the video. So I have less than 50 draws on this thing, guys. And if you just sit at home like we were talking about the other stuff, dry firing, and just getting to that retention, or the active retention, and undoing it and getting the gun out, you can have this be the same exact draw time. .198, your first sub 2. Best spot was a 17. 4 Alpha, 2 Charlie. All right, so we are on, I think this is your, probably like your 35th run. So you had 35 runs today. Guys, I've had thousands of runs on build drills. So in his 35th run, he's at a 198 with 4 Alpha, 2 Charlie, a split of a 17, .17, and a draw time of 101. So let's clean up the draw time just a little bit. When we did Marco's quick and the dead drill just a minute ago, you got your draw time in the .9s. So looking way better. 9-day difference, just over 30. So 35 times 6. Yeah. Somebody do the Asian math.
I don't know math.
6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 3, so 180 rounds, I think. 180 rounds, and you're getting these kind of times. That's awesome.
It's good. Yeah.
Now, one of the cool things that we can do here on the channel is we can bring Marco in to kind of break down some of the stuff that he does. For those of you not aware, Marco is a USPSA champion shooter. Right now you are master in pistol and grandmaster in PCC, yep. Correct?
Correct.
So he's got something that he wants to share. He kind of broke it down for me, but I'm having to break it down for you guys on what he does to get his, if you guys haven't seen his split times, check out some of our videos. You'll see some B-roll here in a second, but you're gonna run your Combat Master Glock, right? Yeah. All right, so take it away, Marco.
Yep, so we're gonna go, essentially we're gonna try to get alphas at speed, right? Essentially it starts to our 7 yards right now. I want to get alphas all the time, but I'm gonna start at 1,000, 2,000. Pull the trigger when I count, 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000. So I'm gonna get the good hits in. Once you can do that, you're gonna step it up to 100. So 100, 200, 100, 200. So you wanna get that speed. And if you can go 1, 2, even better. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alpha, 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 alphas. That's what you want. And if you can get even quicker than that, so 1, 2, 1, 2. That's ideal. Depending on the distance course, but that's how you wanna gauge the speed. So alphas at speed, guys. So we'll try the 1,000 first. Yep. We're just gonna aim at target. We're gonna eliminate the draw right now just to isolate the shooting portion of it. And we're gonna go 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. And I watch my dot track every time. That'll dictate your speed of the shots. That's all alphas right there. So I'm gonna now go 100, 200. See how that goes? 100, 200, 100, 200. Still alphas. Now I'm gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2. See how that goes. And now all alpha still, as you can see the target. If you guys
Let's go
want to
take a look.
So that is, with this weapons platform, I know that's gonna be my general spread for alpha, 2 alphas with that kind of cadence. 2011 is gonna be a lot easier because it's like driving a Ferrari versus another good sports car, but less work on you with a 2011 because the trigger's gonna be lighter, gun's gonna be more mass, heavier. But that is a good drill to up your speed for alphas, guys. Alphas at speed is what you want.
So this range day has been kind of boring for Marco because he kind of just was helping us out with target stuff and just some tips. But I want to have him run a build drill. He's running his your Combat Master, your Terran Tactical Glock setup. Cool. So this is your first build drill of the day, bud. Let's see. Sub 2 all alpha. He's got this. Stand by. Got a 194. First shot was a 116. Best split was a 15. And
Charlie. This one is out 2, I think. Yeah. 2 Charlies.
3, 1, 2,
Oh, yeah.
3.
Perfect hit on that.
3 alpha, 3 Charlie. Let's have you do a couple more. 193. First shot 115.
Here's your first shot. Right off the gate. To the left.
5 alpha, 1 Charlie. So now when we come to the range, guys, my favorite thing to do is the build drill, but it's because it's the only thing I do. Whereas Marco shoots matches moving all the time, so he's always doing doubles. He has me do double drills with him, and it's like, I'll shoot my double drill slow. I'll shoot 2 rounds slower than I'll shoot my 6 standing from one spot. But yeah, 193. So we were talking earlier, like one thing that I mentioned earlier in the video, like I think half the build drill time is the draw.
It's all the draw, and then your reaction to the timer. Just, you need to mentally get prepared just to go for it.
Like those 2 things, I think, make up for half of the speed in your draw time. So like for me, if you're getting a sub-second draw on target for that first round, I mean that sets you up for such a good build drill. And so something that you can do with that, Marco has what's it called, a quick and the dead drill? Yeah,
so you go against your friend on like a steel is perfect, one-on-one standing next to each other, but you're gonna try to so you can draw and get the first hit as possible. First shooter to get first hit is who wins that.
Yeah, and so to help Nick out, we were doing that drill a little bit. So now we're gonna have Nick get his final runs in, and hopefully he's gonna be near 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Got a 198. First shot was a 115. Best split was a 15, and you got consistent 15s. Ah, 4 alpha, 2 Charlie for a 198. Hey. We're getting there.
Getting there.
That's 36th run. So maybe we can get you under 40 runs.
So.
Two seconds flat. 106 was the draw. Split of 15s. 3 alpha, 2 Charlie, 1 delta. All right, guys, just some final thoughts before we wrap up this video. I know everybody's curious, hey, did Nick get down to a sub 2 seconds? Yes and no. So he got, I think the best run you ended up with was the 4 alpha, 2 Charlie.
Yeah.
Definitely picked up on that speed. Doing the drill that Marco brought out today, the quick and the dead drill, definitely lit the fire under his butt to get that draw time. So like I was saying before, I think when it comes to build drills, guys, the draw time, your reaction and draw, so your reaction to the buzzer and your draw time, I kind of just consider that all the draw time. But, you know, your draw to the first shot, I think, is half of what's going to make your build drills fast. So I would definitely emphasis spending time on the buzzer drill that I was talking about, the one that JJ showed me a long time ago, just practicing getting my timing down to react to the buzzer. I set the buzzer at a random time, so I don't know what time it's coming, so that way it just trains me to the initial first reaction. And like Marco was saying earlier, you'll see guys at matches, any stimulus, they react. It happened to me today. I was waiting for the buzzer, Nick dropped the mag, and I went. And so it's good. Like that's the kind of like reaction time you want to have. But those are the things that have worked for me, guys. I'm not saying, you know, these are better than anybody else's. What I'm telling you guys have asked a lot in the comments about, hey, how do you shoot such a fast build drill? Those are the things that I've developed and used and taken from classes and other instructors and other teachers that I put together to help me run the build drill to what you guys saw today, which is a 155 clean. Marco, I appreciate you coming out, dude. I liked what you were talking about, how you broke down with thousands to hundreds to just 1 2 1 2.
Yeah.
And so like I said, again, like if you guys go to a match, especially if you're local here, try to get he's almost at every match at Pro Gun on Sundays. If you can squad with him, I mean, it's pretty much getting, he charges about $150 an hour for private lessons, so you're pretty much getting private lessons out there in the range because he's not going to not help you out on the match. And that's how him and I started hanging out. I go to matches and shoot with him. And then, what did you think, Nick, coming out with, I think your first drill was like 2.5 seconds roughly, and now you're getting your shots off in under 2, and just a little more fine work you do on the accuracy. But guys, we're at the point of, Mark was saying, diminishing returns. Like, we pushed Nick to his limit. He got all the way up to where he was doing like consistent, you know, right at like 0.9 draws and getting all 6 rounds under 2 seconds. But now it's just getting to where it's getting slow again and just fatigue. We've been out here in 110 degrees for 4 hours now.
Yep.
But
yeah, it's one of those, it's definitely just figuring out motions, not something that I've really, in the years that I've been shooting, not something that I've really emphasized training-wise. So really the last couple times, and just that last time with you working with me and just figuring out things, because it's, you know, it's different things when it goes from, you know, you have to focus on the draw, and then it's presentation, then tracking the target, and then staying on target. So it's one thing that you need to work on after next, and once you're trying to kind of incorporate them all, when you're not smooth out of the draw, that's when everything just kind of like just takes, it just falls apart. And that's what I was kind of experiencing, not used to drawing as quickly as I needed to be. And that's something like you were saying, is that's something you can just do at your house.
Yep.
Like you don't need to go out to the range, you don't need to do anything, you don't even need to aim at anybody. It's just practicing, getting back. I think that was one of the things for me in just getting the proper hand position, because right, the draw is what everything else kind of builds up on.
Yep.
So figuring out the draw eats up the most time, but also the better draw you have, the better grip that you have, it just sets you up for a better build drill, you know, less time, better time on target, tighter groups. And it's just kind of figuring out, you hear that term economy of motion, right? Just
yep.
making the quickest presentation with the minimum amount of movements. It's just something that just takes time. And again, this is what my really second time actually kind of working on it, and I feel like I've got better, but like you said, you do something for too long, especially at 110 degrees, things just start crashing. Yeah, start crashing.
Wheels start falling off.
Yeah, I think we crashed pretty hard there at the end. Yeah, no, it was great. I appreciate you guys, you know, taking the time and you know, give me the old trips and techniques and how to fix things. But yeah, it's just something I think you just got to practice. You guys do this all the time. Pressure was there for sure. Watching these two guys just blast it away, and I'm like, all right, well, this is gonna be real bad. But you know, it got better, and it adds pressure, which I think also kind of just fosters more competitive situations.
For sure. If you think about when your first video came out with us, you're shooting like a 4-second build drill then. Yep. You know what I mean? Now you're seeing like, oh shit, like being able to watch everything and actually be conscious for everything going on at a speed of 1.5 seconds, like it's doable. Like it's, you know, it's up there. Like that's super fast. Marco was telling me about the USPSA Build Drill Championships or whatever I was watching.
It's crazy, dude.
You know, and I think the last competition, the guy won it like around a 1.55 or a 1.6 or something like that. But guys, couple logistics things that way, because I know there's gonna be questions down below in the comment section. We were out here for 4 hours today. You don't need to be out here that long. If it's just you solo, I'd say 1.5 hours max. If you get to a point where you start seeing that your speeds and your draw time, everything is starting to diminish, then it's done. Like you've pushed yourself to the limit. That's great. You want to get fatigued and then call it, and then next time you come out, you'll see like, oh wow, my new cold start is much faster than, you know, the first time I did this. Secondly, what do we go through wise? We're probably at around 700 to 800 rounds right now, between 3 of us shooting for 4 hours. I'd say literally he probably shot about 400 rounds. He did the drill, you know, just the shooting a build drill probably 40 to 50 times, and then with the other drills that we did building up to it, and then Marco and I shot about 200 rounds each. For this, I would say come out for 1.5 hours with maybe 200-300 rounds. Other things, if your fundamentals aren't sound or not solid, I wouldn't start with this, guys. Like everything's got to be there as far as like you have to understand grips, you know, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, breathing, follow through. All that stuff needs to be in play before you can just jump into this. Marco, you want to touch on any of that?
Basically, if you make sure you get hits first. Make sure your hits are good. So isolate just the shooting, then you can isolate the draw if you need to, and then isolate whatever is lacking right at the time, and then you can add it all together, then do it as one if possible. Makes life easier.
Questions about the setups you're running? I am running my Staccato XC. The only things I've changed on this, I put a Chile Euro style grip on here, so it's got the tang with a pin, beaver tail, a Hollow Sun 507 competition, and then our Surefire X300 with our thumb cliff. And then Nick was running my Staccato XL, also has a Surefire X300, but that thing is just stock from Staccato. And yeah, other than that, guys, if you have questions about any of the setups you're running, definitely let us know down below. Marco was running his Combat Master from Terran Tactical. And then one question I want for you guys, I know this is kind of long for the end stuff here, but for those of you guys out there that watched to this point, I shot the bill drill in like a 1.8 something with a stock Glock 34, and then I shot it with a 1.55. It was like a difference of less than 0.3 seconds. What are your guys' thoughts? Is it worth, you know, a $700 gun that I can shoot a bill drill clean in a 1.8 versus a $4,000 2011 gun that I shoot bill drills in the 1.5s? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the juice is worth the squeeze? I asked Marco and he said,
Yes, absolutely. Get that money. Get that better gun for sure.
So curious to see what you guys think. The Staccato XC in this configuration is one of my favorite guns I have. This is the gun that I run pretty much for anything that I'm trying to go fast with. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. Definitely stay tuned after the credits for all of the fun stuff and the bloopers and stuff like that. But other than that, guys, we appreciate your support and watching. Appreciate SuperVel hooking us up with the ammo for this video. Definitely like, subscribe, share this with your friends. I hope this answers any questions you guys had down below in the comment section, or the people that have reached out on Instagram via DM. If you got anything else, leave it down below in the comment section. As always, we'll see you in the next one. I won still.
I got this win still.
My Asian math is off. I think it's 35 times 6 would be 210. 6 times 5 is 30.
Don't even ask me.
Then 6 times 3 is 18, so that's 180. 180 plus 30. Yeah, 210. Not 185. 197. 197 clean, homie. Boom. So if you stayed after the credits and you're watching this video, you didn't think we were going to let you guys have a video without Marco getting a sub too. Nice.
Good times, guys. Good times.
The other thing too, Marco actually runs his holster at the normal ride height. I use a dropped and offset, that way it's a little lower for me, but he does this because when he's shooting two gun, he has to get in these different positions, and it's just more advantageous to have the holster up higher for him.
Yeah, for my body type, wasn't happening, so I'm like, I'll take the hit on the draw for better mobility. So